Baker Mansion is a historic home located at Altoona in Blair County, Pennsylvania. It was built between 1844 and 1848 and is a three-story dressed stone building in the Greek Revival style. The front facade is 5 bays wide and features 6 fluted Ionic order columns. The building houses the Blair County Historical Society. Baker Mansion was originally home to ironmaster Elias Baker and his family. Baker purchased the nearby Allegheny Furnace in 1836 in partnership with his cousin Roland Diller. Elias brought his wife Hetty and their 2 sons David Woods and Sylvester from Lancaster County to what was described as a tolerable good mansion house near the furnace. Shortly after they arrived, a daughter Anna was born. A 4th child, Margaretta, was born in 1839, but she died of diphtheria at the age of 2. In 1844, Elias Baker bought out his cousin's share in the furnace. That same year, he contracted with Baltimore architect Robert Carey Long, Jr. to design him a new home. Work got underway on the mansion in 1845, but many problems and delays slowed the completion until 1849. The total cost was about $15,000. The cost overruns coupled with falling pieces of iron pushed Mr. Baker to the brink of financial ruin before the home was finished. David Woods Baker married Sarah Tuthill in 1851, and they had 1 daughter, Louise, in 1852. However, Woods was killed in a steamboat boiler explosion just 2.5 weeks after the birth of his daughter. Louise later married Ernest Beckman and returned with him to live in his native Sweden. Sylvester and Anna both remained single and lived in the mansion until their deaths. After Anna died in 1914, the mansion was closed until 1922, when the Blair County Historical Society leased the building and opened it as a museum. With the community's support for a major fundraising campaign, the Society was able to purchase the house in 1941. Since then, the mansion has served as the Society's headquarters and has become a beloved community landmark. In 2001, the Society completed an exterior rehabilitation, returning the building back to its original appearance. Work has begun on interior rehabilitation. The project is financed in part from a state redevelopment assistance capital grant and from local matching funds the Society is working to raise. In February 2015, Joseph DeFrancesco was named Executive Director of the Blair County Historical Society. In July of that year, the BCHS received an award from the Central Pennsylvania Community Foundation of Technology. In August 2015, the double parlor was restored back to original condition. It was added to the National Register of Historic Places in 1975. Now, I could go on for hours about how beautiful every single room is in this place and how every detail matters, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let it speak for itself, and I'll chime in here and there on some of the more important factors, but for the most part, sit back, relax, and enjoy the beautiful Baker Mansion. though everything in here isn't necessarily original, it is all period correct. Now, the Historical Society really knows what they're doing, and they really did their research and saw pictures of how these rooms were set up, and they set them up the exact same way as when the Bakers lived here. So you're seeing what it would have looked like. The cellar was where pretty much anything that had to do with food was done. Food was stored down here, of course, and it was all prepared and made and sent up the dumbwaiter right into the dining room. Anna Baker had fallen in love with an employee who worked for her father. Receiving strong objections from her family, this hidden affair was short-lived and ended up on a tragic note like its temporary glory. The authoritarian figure of her father made Anna give up the only man she wanted to marry, and this loss stayed with her till her death and thereafter. Confining her within the walls of the only true love she had ever known, Anna made a decision to never marry again. In 1848, when Elias Baker died, she visited the man she still loved only to find him settled down. This made her bitter, angry, and sad, for she had lost her only chance at happiness because of her father. Anna soon lost her mind and was declared insane by the town for her erratic behavior and unsocial behavior. Alone in the mansion, the maids would often find her dancing in the halls of the room dressed in her white wedding gown, moving along to the rhythm that played on her music box. Even though she died in 1914, Anna's soul still dances and walks around in her wedding dress to this date. The Baker Mansion was opened up for everyone as a historical museum in 1941 with the reportage of several paranormal and unexplainable incidents. The beautiful white wedding dress of Anna Baker was cased till a few years back until it was put out of display in order to preserve it. Before this was done, it was often seen that the glass case of the dress would shake violently as if someone was trying to get inside of it. A lot of times, especially during full moons, the dress would itself move and dance along with the ghost inhabiting it. Anna Baker's room was also preserved, where cameras and staff have often caught and seen images of an old, hassled lady in the mirror. Sometimes Anna Baker's music box left in one of the rooms of the mansion would start playing on its own, cursed along with other objects in the house. The ghosts inhabiting the mansion aren't solely of Anna Baker, but it has been witnessed by visitors that the furniture in the house would move on its own, along with sightings of an old woman's spirit dressed in black, possibly Hetty, Anna's mother. Elias Baker's ghost has also been spotted more than a few times, descending the steps of the mansion. The tragic death of David Baker, Anna's older brother, in 1852, had led to the burial of his dead body in one of the rooms of the mansion. Screams have been reported coming out of that particular room, possibly as his spirit still roams around the mansion. Now, with that being said, most of these stories are just ghost stories and they're all speculation. There's not much truth to them, but they're fun to talk about. So let's get back to reality now and continue to explore this magnificent mansion. Thank you for exploring the historic Baker Mansion with me. Check it out, man. I mean, this merch is like really sick.
Check me out, bro.